On Saturday, November 2nd, starting at noon, Kevin Williams is helping sick kids by playing video games. He needs your help to raise $1,000 for the CHIO Foundation. Donate at extra-life.org/participants/347875.
Lights, camera, action. Cut!
You and I are going to have some fun. Welcome to Ropes to Reels, part of the WrestleMedia Network. Visit WrestleMedia.ca for all the information you need on this network, the shows, the prizes you could win, how you can help grow this network into something even greater than it already is. And trust me when I say it is great. This is Sir F Word joining you for Ropes to Reels this week. It's another solo episode. And I really want to tell you why Adam isn't here, but you know what? That is not my story to tell. So you got to reach out to Adam Kalmta over there on the Twitters, on the Facebooks, and you have to ask him. And I'm sure he'll be more than delighted to tell you. It's that kind of news. It's happiness, which is what we promote here on Ropes to Reels. And you know what's making me happy? I'm having that man, Mr. Kalmta, go through the Fast and Furious franchise. Now, he's seen the fifth one, and we even reviewed it last week. If you haven't heard that episode yet, visit WrestleMedia.ca, check out the archives. You can find it there for yourself. But we're not here for that. We're not here for Fast and Furious. We got to delay that a week because I've seen them all, except for Hobbs and Shaw, which we're going to be watching a week after it comes out. But I'm not going to talk about my thoughts on 6. I want to hear what Adam has to say. As a man who appreciates action movies, and who, I think he said he's seen this one and the most recent one, but I think you have to go back to 6 to truly appreciate it. No, we're not talking about the Fast and Furious franchise. We're going to be talking about summer movie releases. Now, you're probably asking yourself, not a lot of summer movie releases have been wrestling related. That you are correct. And we're not actually going to be talking about the movies themselves. Here's how my brain works, and here is what the episode is going to be today. Today we're going to go to the end of October, starting with this week. This week is... this show releases on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. Well, for the patrons, you're listening to this on the 18th. Now, the free episode comes out on the 20th. But on the 19th, in that nice little middle area, The Lion King comes out, the brand new animated feature. I don't like that people call it live action. I mean, it's still animated. They didn't film lions and then edit it together to make a movie. They went into a computer and made realistic animals. You have to promote movies. Some people use trailers. Other companies send their actors and musicians and what have you to the late night shows. There's plenty that they do to promote. And WWE helps from time to time. For example, Stuber. I think that one's coming out. I think it's already out, actually, to be honest with you. Not 100% sure if Stuber is already out. It stars Dave Bautista. But that's what they had during WrestleMania, when it was Batista versus Triple H. They did a little advertisement in the first one to say, go see Stuber, and now watch Triple H rip his nose ring out. Oh, it was great. So that's what I'm going to try and hypotheticalize, if that's a word. Probably not. If WWE was asked to promote the upcoming summer movies, here is how I think they should promote them. First example, The Lion King. Easy. You get Donald Glover. That charming as hell man. Seriously. I don't know if you've ever seen his Netflix special, Weirdo. He's great at stand-up. He's got a show in Atlanta showing off his dramatic chops. He's singing in The Lion King, so you can hear how his voice sounds. He raps Childish Gambino, and he performs comedically with Community. Like, the man is just incredible at everything he does, so you want to bring him to the WWE stage. Now, how do you promote The Lion King? Simple. You get the original Timon, Pumbaa, and Simba to work with him, The New Day. Now think about that. For those that have watched his Netflix special, for those that know Donald Glover's work, put him with The New Day and just let their creative juices flow. That would be fantastic. So that's my idea. That's what I'm going to be doing for this Ropes to Reels, is pitching ways that WWE could promote upcoming summer movies. Now that's for the free version, is the upcoming summer movies. I'm going to the end of October. Now if you want to be a patron and help out the WrestleMedia Network, you get something else. You get the rest of this show, and the rest of this show is going to be looking at movies from the past, from before Lion King was released. And for the ones that I've seen, give my 2 cents on them. But overall, it's about promoting them on the WWE shows. Okay? So if that makes sense, I have one last caveat. I am recording in my own recording studio with a baby downstairs. My girlfriend is currently babysitting, and there is a child down there that is crying and whining, which is why I'm in my studio, and I have the dog. The dog is joining me today mostly because the kid doesn't like him. The dog goes up, smells the kid, and the kid starts crying, and it's a whole thing. So if a dog barks, that's why. With all that out of the way, let's begin. Well, I guess we already began with Lion King and how you'd promote that on WWE, though that is a little lazy. If you want me to go a little bit farther with that, let's say they cut a promo, The New Day, about how they are Simba, or which one of them is Simba. Which one of them is Timon and which one of them is Pumbaa. Now, obviously, I know who is who. Kofi, Simba, easy. Pumbaa, Big E, it's got to be, and Timon, Xavier Woods. Then you have Donald Glover come out and kind of like grade them and, you know, riff with them. He's a brilliant man. I think it would be freaking hilarious if they were to do this. You get more tickets to Lion King, like Disney needs the money. Now, for the trickier one, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that's coming out next week, the latest, and possibly last from Quentin Tarantino. I don't know if he's planning on anything after this, but I keep hearing rumors that this is his last film. Granted, actually, for when Django Unchained released, I think they all said one more, all the reports, but I believe this is his final, not Hail Mary, his final go at behind the camera to really showcase his talents. If you don't know Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, we actually don't. The trailers have been really good at not spoiling what the actual movie is about. Our theory so far is that it's about the Manson murders and how one character, a stuntman, gets wrapped up in the whole thing and maybe helps commit the murders. We really don't know. And it's Quentin Tarantino's version of history. Like Inglourious Bastards and Django Unchained, both of them are really, really out there and not based in somewhat reality, but pulpy reality. Anyways, so how do you promote the Manson Murders movie on WWE? Well, first off, you forget the plot. You forget the idea. You forget all of that. You know what you do? You bring Leonardo DiCaprio onto SmackDown and have him work with Daniel Bryan. Now you're probably wondering, what the heck are you talking about? Leonardo DiCaprio has been very outspoken about saving the planet, about climate change, which Daniel Bryan is as well. The difference is, people like Leo for it, and people hate Daniel Bryan for it. So having those two kind of work off of each other, and, you know, maybe Daniel Bryan says, film is a waste, and when you use film, it tarnishes the trees, or something along those lines. Or it's like, you should go digital. Digital helps save the planet. You know, some stuff like that. But using Leonardo DiCaprio with his environmental angle, with Daniel Bryan, it writes itself, especially with Daniel Bryan being the promo master that he is, and Leonardo DiCaprio being the actor that everybody aspires to be. One that has great success in his youth, and then just grows and grows, more talented. It could work. I see it working. After that, the week after is Hobbs and Shaw, or, pardon me, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. Now, this is easy. You get a tag team match with Jason Statham and The Rock taking on who? Now, that's going to be a tricky one. Like, who in the roster is most like Idris Elba, the Black Superman? It's what he calls himself in the trailers. Who do you put him up against? The first thought for me was the Club, because they just kind of scream bad guy, right? Like with the leather platted out, and Luke Gallows being a big guy, Carl Anderson being the mind. You know, yeah, I think you have that match. And it would excel the Club, hopefully, you know, to have a program with The Rock and Jason Statham. I think that would be thoroughly entertaining, at least for the most part. And have it build up. Don't let this one be like a week off. Have it be Statham and The Rock bickering back and forth, you know, during promos in the back, building up to their match against the Club. And have the Club be like, we are a cohesive unit. You guys don't like each other. And then, you know, they win in the end because you got to promote the movie. And and at the end of it, I don't know, have Jason Statham headbutt The Rock, punch The Rock, deliver a rock bottom or something, and just have it like, we still don't like each other. Come see the movie. I think Rock putting over Jason Statham would be kind of funny. Now, remember, we are in the PG era of WWE, so the week after we have movies like The Kitchen and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Now, I have a way of linking those two up with WWE as well, but I kind of challenged myself to just pick one movie. And of course I had to pick Dora and the Lost City of Gold, because that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. And I know exactly how you incorporate this movie into WWE's storyline. Use the 24/7 title. Okay? Is R-Truth the champion again? I can't remember. Maybe. It might still be Drake Maverick. Regardless, whoever isn't the champion at that point but wants to be, have them hire Dora the Explorer to find the 24/7 title and have her kind of search around the back and maybe interact with Sheamus, because he's always fun when he gets to be a silly character. Maybe have Bray Wyatt show up in his Mr. Rogers getup and be all Firefly Funhouse with her and kind of tease The Fiend a little bit. I know The Fiend technically debuted on WWE recently, but he hasn't actually had a match. So have him kind of tease that a little bit with Dora. And you see where I'm going with this. Have her search around, interact with different WWE superstars. Eventually, she finds it. She contacts whoever the person is that's looking for it, and then helps them win the 24/7 title, and then steals it. Or I guess wins it fairly, because you can't have Dora the Explorer steal anything. Okay, so Dora wins it fairly, and then, say, Triple H, or I don't know if they have a general manager of Raw anymore. Is it still Kurt Angle, or is he gone? I don't watch the main shows. I know I probably should at least try and keep up with it a little more. But whoever the GM is, just say to Dora the Explorer, it's like, sorry, you're not actually signed under a contract. You can't win this title, and then vacate it and leave it in the ring again. Or something along those lines. Make it so there's a challenge for them to actually go get the 24/7 title. Rejuvenalize that a little bit so it doesn't get stale. What do you think? I really like that aspect of using Dora the Explorer and just making it silly. Okay, the next one is tricky. The week after is going to be... It was a toss-up between Angry Birds 2 and Good Boys. And I think I've decided to go with the Good Boys, because I don't know how the heck you can promote Angry Birds 2 on WWE without it just being terrible and cringeworthy like the movie is going to be. But Good Boys, I can kind of see this one being fun. So, similar idea with Dora. You invite the kids onto an episode of WWE. Maybe they're on an episode of Alexa Bliss's show, or maybe the Kevin Owens show. One of those. Have them be like on a talk show setup with the WWE. And every time they try and curse or say something inappropriate, something interrupts them. Like the whole gimmick, I guess, about Good Boys is that they are not good boys. They curse. They talk about dirty things. They're overall punks. And that's kind of the charm of the movie. It's like Superbad, but they're younger. So, with that in mind, and still being the PG era, you can kind of tease the movie, say, they know this stuff. They know the words, the lingo, the sexual innuendos. They know it all. So just let them have fun with it, and maybe... Who would be a good person to interrupt them, saying, no, you're better kids. You're better kids than that. Don't curse. Don't be saying stuff like that. Maybe Bray Wyatt as the... friendly childhood character. It would be fun to just kind of say, you can't let your demons out. I don't know. I think that'd be fun. You know, kind of have a different reason to interrupt. Maybe Bray Wyatt first time. Maybe Shane McMahon coming out saying, I'm a father, and fathers wouldn't like their kids spewing this stuff on national live television. Or The Miz. Let The Miz come out and say, I'm the A-lister, you guys are nothing, and then really egg them on to try and make them curse even more. That'd be fun. That would be fun.
Hey, this is a commercial for patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca, where you can get early access to episodes of your favorite WrestleMedia shows, get full uncut and uncensored versions of your favorite shows, and more. Don't want to hear this commercial on your podcast anymore? Sign up at our main event tier and get these episodes ad-free. Want to hear your own commercial here instead of ours? We've got tiers for that too. Visit patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca and join the WrestleMedia revolution today.
So the next week, a few movies come out, but none of them are really like huge, like, going to be big ones. It's like a movie called Ready or Not, Jacob's Ladder, Brittany Runs a Marathon, but also Angel Has Fallen, starring Gerard Butler, the third in the Fallen trilogy, which is a thing. If you don't know, Olympus Has Fallen, I like. It's a stupid action movie. The president gets taken hostage. One of his Secret Service has to storm the White House and make his way to the president to try and save his life. Is it the best written script? No. Is it fun? Oh, heck yes. It is such a fun movie. Then London Has Fallen. Absolute trash. They realized what was fun about the first one and just took it all out and just made it so boring and bland. And now Angel Has Fallen come out. Not excited for it at all. But if WWE was hired to promote it, it's simple. Have a good authority figure be in danger. Let's say William Regal. Let's say William Regal is in danger. Okay? Recently on NXT, the Forgotten Sons have said, well, remember this. And they're going to go after William Regal. So let's say he hires Gerard Butler to protect him like they do in Angel Has Fallen. And then it's like hijinks of them trying to escape NXT without being attacked by the Forgotten Sons. Maybe Gerard Butler gets a few good hits in there. And at the end, they finally corner them. And William Regal brings out the brass knuckles and just flattens them all. And he says, what? Gerard Butler says, well, why was I your security? You weren't protecting me from them. And then moves off the screen. William Regal is a boss. Gerard Butler is shown to be strong. People go see Angel Has Fallen. All right, we're done with August. 2 more months to go. The next one, It Chapter 2. This is difficult. And I don't want to rely on Bray Wyatt too much. So even though he's got that scary fiend thing going on that kind of looks like a clown, let's go back from that. Let's do Finn Balor as the demon. All right? Now, for It Chapter 2, I don't want to do what they did in WCW where all of a sudden Chucky challenged Rick Steiner to a match. That was dumb. But let's say Pennywise is taunting Finn Balor as well. You know, the red balloons and the laughter and the contortionists where he folds up into a fridge and then slowly comes out of it. Maybe have it be like an Undertaker thing where it's a supernatural being that's trying to force the demon out because Pennywise is fascinated by the demon and wants to instill fear into Balor's demon. So, let's do this at SummerSlam, actually. So it builds up, because I think Finn Balor and SummerSlam are going to be like Undertaker and WrestleMania. The demon has come out every single SummerSlam thus far. So let's say Finn Balor is going to try to reclaim the Intercontinental Championship from who? Who's the champion now? I can't remember. Somebody won it at Extreme Rules. Was it Nakamura? I think it was Nakamura. Beside the point, Finn Balor is going after the Intercontinental Championship, but he's been avoiding Pennywise because he keeps taunting him, trying to make Finn Balor afraid. And he's like, sometimes you just have to embrace the fear. And the demon comes out looking like Pennywise. He said, instead, we're working together because it's stupid. But whoever designs Finn Balor's back is doing a heck of a job. So if they design something along the lines of like a Pennywise-ish design, I think it would look awesome and creepy and promote the heck out of the movie. So yeah, let's do a month of torment to Finn Balor for Pennywise, and then just like, I don't know, maybe the week before SummerSlam or at SummerSlam they announce, I just decided we'll work together. And he comes out looking like a demon Pennywise. I'd go see the movie. I love that idea. So for the next week, there are 2 movies that you've probably never heard of. Hustlers, where it's Jennifer Lopez, Julia Stiles, and Cardi B. They try to steal from people that come into the bar, into the strip club, and they're Wall Streets, and they're like, they steal money, so we should steal it from them. And then there's The Goldfinch, which is a boy in New York is taken by an East Side family. His mother is killed at the bombing in Metropolitan. It is based off of a book and is really heavy, so I'm going to go with Hustlers. But promoting that on WWE is going to be tricky because they've moved far along from their olden days where women were just to be paraded around and gawked at by little boys. And that's for the better, don't get me wrong. But this type of premise, using their womanly ways to get one over on the men, okay, saying that out loud is not a bad idea. So maybe they hustle the main event. Like, let's say it's been a male main event for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and the women use their cunning ways to trick the men into going on earlier in the show so that they can have the main event, actually putting one over on the men. I think that would, if done right, if written correctly, that could be a really empowering storyline. Make sure it's the face women. Don't make the heels do this, because if you have the good women just say, you know what, we're going to have some fun. We want it. We're motivated. So like Bailey, Sasha Banks, if she ever comes back, Naomi, like you get all the good ones, the good guys, good girls, and have them like concoct a plan to hustle the main event. I think that'll work. And then maybe have them take tips from Cardi B or Jennifer Lopez or whoever the kids are interested in nowadays. I don't know if Jennifer Lopez is still like a big thing after American Idol fell, but I'm sure they can figure something out. After that is a movie called Rambo. Maybe the last one, maybe not. Who knows? Anyway, this time he's like in the middle of the desert. People are coming up to be like, I'm going to kill you. And he's like, no, I want revenge for something, and then kills them instead. That old chestnut. Anyways, how do you do that? Well, you get Sylvester Stallone, because the man's awesome. The man's smart. He's great. And I just want to know, who would you pair him up with? I want to say Triple H. I think Sylvester Stallone and Triple H kind of get together and talk about how action was better in their days. Like in the 80s and the late 70s, action movies were at their peak, and now they're just like all thin guys that run around, do explosive, trippy, flippy stuff, and it should go back to the way things are. And then maybe the new boys, the new blood from the roster, like, say, Drew Gulak or Nakamura or Ali, say that, no, that time is over. We now must show you what true action is like. And maybe they go back and forth for a little bit and then team up with Stallone for like a classic and modern team up of like both styles can work together to show that both work. I don't know. Maybe have Triple H wrestle instead and just have Stallone as a manager, because the man's old. I don't want him dying. I don't want him hurting. That might be too much for him, while Triple H just is determined to get into the ring until he just cannot physically move anymore. So yeah, old and new styles come together, just like Rambo, where it's an old idea with new action set piece designs and processes like CGI come together to make the next Rambo movie. Hopefully the last one, because I don't know if you watched the Rambo before this, but it's okay. After that, we're rounding up September. We're almost there. Next up is a movie called Judy, which is about Judy Garland. A movie called The Report, which is again about 9/11. So both of those out of the picture. Instead, it's 21 Bridges, where a disgraced detective in the NYPD is getting a shot at redemption. Looking at the trailer, it has the potential to be at least an interesting movie. John Wick and Broken City. Broken City had Russell Crowe and Mark Wahlberg. Or even better, Broken City and State of Play. I don't know if you've seen State of Play. I love that movie so much. Broken City, I don't really like. So 21 Blocks kind of looks like it could be in the middle of that. Or sorry, 21 Bridges. Hopefully it's good. I am intrigued, and I hope it's fun. Now, the reason it's called 27 Bridges is there are 27 bridges out of New York, so he has to block them off and make sure that this guy does not escape. Okay, so how do you do this? Chadwick Boseman is a charismatic man. He just commands the screen he's on, so get him on WWE. Now, how do you incorporate the movie into a storyline? I don't know. It's about terrorism and murder, so you kind of want to distance yourself from that. Of course, people are going to say Black Panther because it is Chadwick Boseman, but maybe make it about redemption. Have somebody be on a losing streak that they just can't handle. Maybe an Oni Lorcan type of character. Or maybe Mustafa Ali. Why did they get rid of Mustafa? That name works so well in professional wrestling. Ali, you're going to confuse him with Muhammad Ali, and then he won't go down in the history books as well. Anyway, maybe have it be Ali. He's losing a few matches and needs a pep talk. And Chadwick Boseman says, I was not a huge actor. I was doing biopics here and there until I got this big role, and I took it upon myself to go for it. Now I choose the roles I want. You could choose the matches you want. Have him make him make a speech, because Chadwick Boseman, when he has a monologue, he sells it. He's amazing. I love him. Make it so he motivates one of the wrestlers to get their redemption story, to get that championship, and say, oh, by the way, this charismatic man, yeah, he is going to be in this movie called 21 Bridges, so go check it out. Next week, or I should say the week after that, Joker comes out. Now, this one, I don't want to go to Bray Wyatt for all the horror thriller ones, but if you don't know, Bray Wyatt's Fiend mask is heavily influenced by Joker, or the Mr. Fix-It Joker, where he ripped off his face, pinned it to the wall, found it again, and started wearing it with rubber bands attached. He just put his face back on his face without healing. It is grotesque in the best possible way. So if you're going to have that, well, bring in the Joker. Maybe have the Firefly Funhouse talk about what it means to be a sociopath. I mean, they kind of already did it in the first one, but really dive deep into it. Maybe even reference the Joker. Have him explain, one of the popular examples of a sociopath is the Joker. Now, I know what you're thinking. He's a bad man. But you know what? Every bad man just has a sparkling light. And sometimes he just wants to show you. All you have to do is let him in. Stuff like that. It's so simple. Joaquin Phoenix, I don't know how exactly you're supposed to pronounce his name. He's like a real method actor, so having him on WWE might just be a little too creepy. I think having Bray Wyatt take the handles and promote it through The Fiend would kind of be fun. Maybe have him quote Joker's best lines from The Dark Knight, from Mask of the Phantasm, from Batman the Animated Series, or The Killing Joke. Have him reference the Joker, and boom, people want to see it. At least the people that enjoy the Firefly Funhouse, which I am certainly one. I'm excited to see where Bray Wyatt takes that one. After that is a movie, well, actually a couple movies. There's The Addams Family, which, if the Wyatt family was still a thing, would be fun, but I don't think we really have a creepy family. And the problem with it being animated is it's kind of hard to bring in the live-action characters, so I decided instead, Zombieland, Double Tap. How do you get WWE to promote Zombieland? You get a 4-person crew, and you Left for Dead them. It is the Halloween season, so maybe have an episode where they think the WWE studios is being overrun by zombies or crazed fans or whatever, and have 4 people team up to try to escape. Woody Harrelson will be played by Aleister Black. It's cool, right? Jesse Eisenberg's character, let's say Ricochet. He's kind of awkward enough. Just kind of got that persona about him where he doesn't feel like he quite fit in, even though he absolutely does. For the 2 badass women, I'm thinking maybe the Iconics could work. If they want to go full serious with this, or at least fun serious, you don't want to have the women just kind of scream, oh my God, I'm afraid. So actually probably not the Iconics. One of them will be Becky Lynch, if you really want the tough aspect about it. And then Asuka. So there you go. You have locked in a room, Becky Lynch, Asuka, Ricochet, and Aleister Black have to escape the zombies. And maybe Ricochet does some flippy stuff. Becky Lynch rips off an arm. Aleister and Asuka kick off a head. It's a whole bonding experience. And then after they escape, they see a poster for Zombieland. They realize, oh, they were probably just extras, weren't they? It could be fun. And one more movie is going to be released at the end of October that WWE could promote, and that is Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. Alexa Bliss. Easy. Have Alexa Bliss kind of be inspired by Maleficent. Have her wear kind of like Maleficent clothing like she did for Harley Quinn. Be inspired by that. Be kind of like the Dark Witch or the Goddess of WWE and have her come out with a dragon or something, have the mannerisms of Angelina Jolie, maybe green smoke if that's possible. I don't know how special effects work, but if it's possible, have her come out with green smoke and maybe have her do a little bit of magic with Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross could be like the Crow. I think it could be fun. And Alexa, if anyone could pull it off, pulling off being like kind of creepy and witchy, I think Alexa Bliss could. And with that, that is how I think WWE would promote the next bit of summer movies to come. So thank you so much for joining me. If you are one of the free listeners, nothing against you. Any support we get for WrestleMedia is greatly appreciated. But now for the WrestleMedia patrons, I'm going to talk about the movies that have already passed and how WWE would promote them, plus my personal thoughts. So thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next week. I've been Sir F Word, and that's a wrap.
This has been a presentation of WrestleMedia, where everything is wrestling and wrestling is everything. Here's what you're missing out on right now over at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca.
Next week, or I should say the previous week, you had Child's Play and Toy Story 4. It's Toy Story 4. That's the one you promote, and you promote it by having the toys move. Man, Bray Wyatt just works for movies, doesn't he? Because he's got those toys. He's got those puppets.
Want more? Sign up now at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca.